Okay, so today we are diving into a really radical idea. What if the next great renaissance isn't about looking back at art or history, but about a total, future-focused upgrade for all of humanity? We're talking about a reawakening designed to transform, well, everything. Let's break down this powerful concept of a renaissance for everyone.
And the source material we're exploring today kicks things off with this incredibly urgent call to action. It argues that humanity has been sleepwalking through one crisis after another, caught in what it calls a Cimmerian slumber, which is this deep, dark, mythological sleep. So, this isn't a gentle nudge. This is a blaring alarm bell for our entire civilization to wake up, right now.
So, what does this renaissance actually mean? First things first, forget the dusty old art history books. In this context, it's a total reboot. It's a forward-looking movement designed to transform every single part of our lives, from the systems we build around us to the very way we think inside our own heads.
And get this grand project has a clear roadmap. It's broken down into 3 distinct layers, or strata. And what's absolutely crucial here is the order. First, you rebuild the tangible physical world. Then, you move inward to fix our psychology. And finally, you ascend to the spiritual. It's a very deliberate sequence. Because think about it, you can't really fix your thinking if you're living in a broken system, and you can't find a higher purpose with broken thinking. Each step builds on the last.
So, first up, the physical world. This is all about the nuts and bolts of our society, our economies, our politics, our social structures, the whole shebang. The goal here is to forge a world that actually works for everyone, one that's founded on real fairness, equality, and mutual support. But before you can build something new, you've got to figure out what's broken in the first place, right? And the source is crystal clear on this. Our world is fractured by these deep, deep inequalities. And these aren't just natural accidents. They are man-made divisions that we absolutely have the power to dismantle.
And wow, when you look at the list, you see just how deep these cracks really go. It starts with the false idea that we're somehow superior to nature. Then you've got divisions based on birth, race, and gender. And on top of all that, you have the massive gulfs in wealth and the exploitation that's literally baked into our political systems. You start to see the sheer scale of the challenge we're facing. Now, what's really amazing about this source is how it uses such powerful, almost shocking language to drive the point home. I mean, this question here, it forces you to confront the brutal, visceral reality of gender inequality. It's not some abstract policy issue. It's a profound humiliation that holds back half of all humanity.
So what's the alternative? What's the dream? The vision is a society that's based on cooperation, not domination. A world where leadership is shared and where fundamental rights are truly universal. Guaranteed for every single person, no exceptions.
And here is the actual blueprint for that new world. Science is totally reimagined, used for service and human well-being, not for profit or destruction. Economics shifts its entire focus to one simple thing, guaranteeing the basic needs of all people. Politics is guided by moral leaders with a truly universal outlook. And education becomes a free, universal right for everyone, everywhere.
Okay, so fixing the outside world is huge, but it's only half the story, right? The source argues that even if we build perfect systems, if we don't upgrade our own thinking, we'll just recreate the same old problems all over again. So this next step is all about rewiring our collective mind.
So, if it's not just about the systems, what's the real root of the problem? What's the bug in our programming, the mental malware that stops us from creating that better world we just blueprinted? The answer is simple and direct. It's not just broken systems. It's broken thinking, plain and simple. All those external problems we just talked about, they're just symptoms of a much deeper internal disease.
The source calls this malware dogmas, and it uses this incredibly potent metaphor, describing them as psychophysical diseases. Think about that. These are the rigid, unexamined beliefs that are injected into our minds from childhood, and their only job is to constantly slice humanity into smaller and smaller competing groups, us versus them.
And this isn't just some abstract philosophical idea, This broken thinking has real, devastating consequences. It's the logic that lets us believe that nature is just a resource to be consumed, or that one group of people is inherently better than another. It's the internal excuse for all the exploitation we see in the external world.
But, and this is so important, there is an antidote. There is an antivirus for this mental malware.
The Source offers this powerful philosophy called neo-humanism, and its core idea is this radical expansion of empathy, this recognition that the universe belongs to all beings, not just the exclusive property of one group or one nation or one species.
All right, this brings us to the final level, the absolute pinnacle of this whole Renaissance journey, the spiritual stratum. This is presented as the ultimate destination, the peak where all the other struggles for physical and mental freedom find their true meaning and purpose.
And to really get this, the Source lays out a very clear choice for us. It presents two fundamentally different directions for our collective consciousness to move in. One path leads to decay and division, and the other leads to unity and, well, evolution.
So check this out. On the left, you've got the negative path, the path of de-evolution. This is where our highest spiritual potential gets dragged down into mental conflict, which then creates physical division and war in the world. But the Renaissance path on the right is the exact opposite. It's a journey of evolution, of elevation, using our material world to build a higher mind, and then using that higher mind to reach a unified spiritual consciousness.
So ultimately, this spiritual journey is about synthesis. It's not about analyzing and dividing everything into smaller and smaller pieces. That's what got us into this mess in the first place. It's about bringing everything, every person, every idea, every part of our existence together, moving in unison towards a single, unifying apexed goal. This is framed as the ultimate cure for all our divisions. So we've journeyed through the physical, the psychic, and the spiritual layers of this new Renaissance. But this is not just some fascinating theory to think about. The Source concludes with this absolutely electrifying call to action.
And here's the real kicker. This Renaissance isn't some distant utopia we just have to hope for. No, it's a practical program that demands our immediate participation. It's a shift in how we think and how we act that has to begin with each and every one of us, right here, right now. And the Source leaves us with this final, unmistakable command. You will have to start your work from this very moment. It brooks no delay. There is no more time for waiting, no more time for excuses. The urgency is now.
And so that leaves us with one last provocative question. This isn't about waiting for some leader or some movement to save us. It's about personal responsibility. So the question is, for you, how will you begin your Renaissance? How will you start to rebuild, rewire, and reunify in your own life? What's your first step?